Hey everybody, it's Kelly. Welcome back to another episode of Ask a Therapist. Today we're doing Am I the Asshole Christmas edition, also queer. December's a hard month. Some people are on social media more, some people on it less. Some people are looking for help in things, some people aren't. So I went to Reddit to see what people are asking about, and did I find some things? So from a therapist perspective, I am going to answer some of the things that were asked on Reddit, and you get to hear it, and I'd love to hear your response too. As usual, I am blind reacting to all of these, which usually makes it a little more interesting. Here we go. Am I the asshole for coming out to my younger cousin? I'm 19, male, and super gay. I've been out publicly for 4 years now, but to be honest, it wasn't hard for anyone to tell before that. My family has all been chill about it, and I never had any issues dealing with homophobia. That's awesome. Well, almost no issues. Okay, should have read ahead. My mother's brother and his wife give me the "that's nice" while trying so hard to force a smile whenever it's brought up. It's not so much my uncle as it is my aunt. She's super Catholic and super Irish, and it's about all the details I'll give there. Well, I think we all know what most of that means. Okay. We do Christmas with my mom's side the weekend before, and I was sitting with their 7-year-old daughter. My other cousin was there with his girlfriend, and he's my age. My little cousin says in her adorable 7-year-old voice to me, "Why don't you have a girlfriend like my brother?" And honestly, without really thinking anything of it, I said I wouldn't ever have a girlfriend. I like boys. I'm gay. Cue the hardcore stare from my aunt while my uncle tried to tell a story to distract her. It didn't start a big fight then and there, but today I heard all about how my aunt called my mom and really gave it to her. I had zero right to tell their daughter what gay was. They're the parents and they will decide when she can know about it, etc. After my mom told me all of this, I questioned why they need to be so secretive about it. I asked if they think it's shameful. Mom assured me no, but they claim as parents it's up to us to teach our children about that. My uncle has since called me basically begging for his sake to call my aunt and apologize, and get this, try to walk back the comment next time I see her. He's given me the "you know how she is, just apologize so she can stop annoying me about this." So Reddit, am I the asshole for doing this? Also, F apologizing, that's not going to happen. All right. So, I don't know if you really care if you're the asshole. If you're saying F apologize, it's not going to happen. Yeah, but I'm with you. You don't need to apologize. You're not the asshole. So let's talk about this though, okay? Because this is a really great, segue into something that needs to be understood by more people. When a child is old enough to understand relationships, they are old enough to understand queer relationships, because a relationship is a relationship is a relationship. And if you don't understand that, if you don't buy into that, that is rooted in a homophobia, okay? That is rooted in an understanding that being gay is wrong or somehow objectionable. Okay, the child is sitting there with the full knowledge that her brother has a girlfriend. Therefore, she is old enough to understand that her cousin could have a boyfriend. Now, what should have been happening is that is the parent's job to teach her that. That is correct. But the parents are saying that as though when she's old enough, we will teach her about these weird things these people are doing. You're the one making it weird, okay? You're the one sexualizing it. You're the one making it bad. You are the one making it weird. Kids would not find this weird if parents didn't make it weird. That's the problem here. I wish people could just understand this. I have these conversations with people in life too, where they don't seem to understand that when they say phrases like, "I don't care who you want to be with, I don't care what you do in the bedroom, just keep it out of like my periphery," you're sexualizing those people. You know, if I'm walking around and holding my wife's hand and you have a different reaction than you would if I was walking around holding a man's hand, why do you? Are you imagining what two women do together versus what two men do together? Because if you're doing either of those things, that's a weird thing you're doing. These two people are just holding hands. Like, that's you being weird. Okay? You need to look inside and figure out why you're imagining two people like in their intimate moments when you're just walking around in public. That's a problem. But that's your problem, not theirs. And for some weird reason, we have decided that if you see somebody and they give you an ick feeling, it's their problem. That's not their problem. That's yours. Even if the mom didn't agree with gayness as a whole, she knew that the cousin was gay. Like, she knew. Then she should have had the conversation with her child already. That was her job. You're right. But it's not everyone else's job to hide completely natural things from her child because she's decided to make it a weird thing and make it a shameful thing that her kid has to be shielded from. If children are brought up to understand that partnerships and love and families all look so many different ways, but love is love and families are families and all of that is okay, how much different would we be already as a society? Am I the asshole for not wanting to go to my boyfriend's work Christmas party? My boyfriend is part of the administrative team of this small company, and they're planning this Christmas party in December for months. Oh, they've been planning. My boyfriend is part of the administrative team of this small company, and they've been planning this Christmas party in December for months and are really excited about it since they can bring family and friends. So for the last few months, he's been reminding me of that. Finally, invite went out last week and I RSVP'd. Today, though, he told me that 2 of the party planners won't be attending. He'll have to pick up the slack and will probably be extremely busy that night. I asked if maybe I should stay home since I wouldn't be able to spend much time with him either way, and I don't want him to be distracted trying to make me feel comfortable. He assured me that he wants me to go and that his coworkers really want to meet me, but the whole thing sounds a bit uncomfortable if I'm being honest. Okay, so it's a religious company, and we'd be one of the only openly gay couples there. If he's not with me, it's just me in a room with a bunch of priests more than twice my age. From what I've gathered, we wouldn't have much to talk about. I'm not a social person. Every time we go to large family gatherings, I'm mostly quiet and generally speak on a few topics I know well. If I click with a particular person, then we talk a bit more. I feel like I'd be alone in this event, and that stresses me out a lot. I tried to meet him halfway, tell him I could arrive with him, mingle, and get to know his coworkers for an hour or 2 and then leave early, but he didn't like this idea. I have so many questions. So there's a lot of things that aren't included in this that would be necessary to really be able to answer this. So I'm going to go on a couple of assumptions. Being the fact that we don't have these pieces of information, I would want to know, like, do you have negative history with religion that would be triggered here? Discomfort and negative history are 2 different things, and sometimes pushing into discomfort is okay. Pushing into negative history when you're not ready to is a different situation, right? Like, those are 2 very different things, and so my answer would be different depending on which of those is like going on for you. So there's that. You did RSVP and your boyfriend did say it's very important to him, and that should matter. Like, that needs to count. Your comfort level should also matter. And he did say his coworkers want to meet you. I wonder where the assumption is that you won't have anything to talk to them about, because if they are very interested in meeting you, then the assumption that they're not going to be able to carry the conversation, like, does that come from the fact that they're religious? Is that an assumption about them because of being religious? Is that because they're priests? A compromise makes a lot of sense. Having 2 vehicles, right? Like, you arrive together but have a way to leave if you needed to leave and felt very uncomfortable, saying like, I will stick it out for as long as I can for you because I know you want me there. Compromise makes a lot of sense in this situation, and I'm not sure why he didn't want the compromise. Figuring out how both of you get your needs met is kind of how relationships work, right? Figuring out how both of you can do what you need to do for yourselves and also be there for each other, that's relationships. And so the compromise makes sense to me. Am I the asshole for skipping Christmas over the election? I grew up in what has become a red state. Unfortunately, my parents have been sucked into the Fox News rabbit hole, and while they are not QAnon nut jobs, they still voted for Trump after everything. I have a ticket booked to go home, and I just don't have anything nice to say to these people at current. Instead, I'd rather protect my peace and turn this frustration into positive action by staying in my home city, halfway across the country, and volunteering at an LGBTQIA plus organization. I cannot just sit there and act like things are okay. I simply can't. I'm fuming with rage at the moment, and I know that it is not good for me. Focusing it on my parents is the last thing that I want to do, but spending a week at their house with very limited transportation, listening to them bicker, knowing they have it so good while they're supporting candidates that are actively making the world a shittier place for me and other LGBTQIA plus people is infuriating. Outside of this, they have been very accepting, but when I tried to reason with them about Trump, calmly explaining why he is terrible for our rights, geopolitics, and the economy, society at large, etc., they simply try to get me to watch Fox News. Mind you, I went to one of the most prestigious journalism schools in the world. It's rich for them to watch mainline right-wing shit while preaching to me about media literacy. My second oldest brother is so far right, he would make Rush Limbaugh look like Rachel Maddow. Yesterday morning after the election, so this was written right after the election then. Yesterday morning after the election, he innocently sent a picture of his older dog in a loving embrace with his new puppy. No harm, no foul, but my mom responded with Republicans and Dems this morning. Too soon. I ignored the text but left the group chat. I just couldn't deal with it. I was absolutely distraught yesterday, but staying off of social media and keeping to myself to keep my emotions in check. I had gone to visit them last month, tactically planning the trip before the election, not knowing if I'd have the stomach to go after. Today, my mom sent me a text that reads as follows. I did not realize that this was a group text because it was the dog pic. I did not notice you removed yourself until after. Knowing how stressed and sensitive all have been over politics, there is no way I would have sent that to you. I hope you believe and forgive me. I worked from home and took a beat as I was in a meeting when I received it. Ultimately, I responded with the following. I have been distraught, not about your texts. I mean, I didn't feel great about it, but everything else. Then when I woke up this morning with a tremendous sense of calm, as I had made the resolution to do a positive thing and protect my peace. As such, I have decided to stay in LA over the holidays and spent part of this morning looking at opportunities to volunteer. When I cancel my flight, please let me know if the points return to your account. If not, I will send you a check for the cash equivalent. Other than that, I really don't have much else to say right now, and I do not wish to be included on family group texts in the future. Again, I am protecting my peace. For context, I had originally booked and paid for my own flight, but my mom offered to pay for it since she has a boatload of points. That, and my brother has a long history of taking political jabs in the group text, and even when I try to set simple boundaries by keeping off the group text to family stuff, she will chime in, claiming that both of us need to calm down. She tried calling me, and I texted that I didn't want to talk. She responded with, well, your text brought tears, and I almost never cry. This hurts my heart. I am torn because I want to be aware of your peace, but what about Dad and me? I responded with, I understand that you feel that way, but what about me? Just think about it. I know I will be. Anyway, my parents are getting older, and I feel like I have to let things slide with Trump on account of it, and the fact that my dad has now beat cancer twice with a high chance of reoccurrence. I go into every Christmas thinking that this could be the last one, but I also feel like my mom leans into this fact to emotionally manipulate and guilt me into going. I love my parents, I really do. I'm just hurt and afraid and know from experience that I will be feeling this way for at least 4 years to come. So, am I the asshole? First off, no. No, you're not an asshole. No one is an asshole for making decisions that are the best for them. Okay? That's never an asshole decision. Is it going to hurt some people sometimes? Yes. But putting up boundaries are not always easy, especially when you come from a family that doesn't normally honor boundaries, right? When you have a family that doesn't understand boundaries or doesn't, know how to respect those, and you put them up, they are going to blame you for any negativity it causes. That doesn't mean it's actually your fault. That means they're blaming you for it. And those are two different things. You have every right to decide where you spend the holidays. You have every right to put up boundaries, especially with family members who, like your brother, you said, has a history of bringing up political things that you have requested he not do. And there are a lot of people out there that are having this same question in their heads. There are people out there, I know because I've heard from a lot of you, that maybe skipped Thanksgiving or didn't have like family Thanksgiving anyway, and are trying to decide what you are going to do for your winter holiday get together with your family. There are no wrong answers, but as I said in the video a couple of weeks ago about being no contact or being like low contact, like going to see family that maybe doesn't have great boundaries with you, parent having bad health, like a family member maybe not having a lot of years left, those are not reasons for you to lower your standards or to change your boundaries. Because here's the thing, if your dad not having a lot of Christmases left is not enough reason for them to stand up for your rights, why is it enough reason for you to swallow who you are and subject yourself to being treated poorly? Why does that reason not work on the other side? That doesn't make any sense. So yeah, I mean, hearing like, okay, what about me and dad? That's not your job as their child to make them happy. It's not a child's job to make your parents happy. You get to make your own choices in life. Especially if you're an adult, if you're an adult who's on your own, you definitely need to make your own choices, and you need to make the choice that's best for you. You have the right to say to somebody like, I'm sorry that you can't see that this is what I need right now. And I'm sorry that you can't give me the space I need right now. Because I'd like to think that if you told me you needed this space, I'd give it to you. That's it for today. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you all next time. And until then, take care of yourselves and each other.